What's up, guys? So today I'm starting a series where I go through every single Warframe in the game and I try to give as basic as possible a build for beginner steel path, if that makes sense. So essentially what I want to provide is I want to go through every frame, give you a build that doesn't require arcanes, prime mods, helmet system, anything that's super difficult to obtain. I'm trying to make it as simple and easy as possible. For example, like if you're just getting into steel path, you either sped run it or you got there naturally, or you just came back from the game after a 3-year-long hiatus and you're like, oh, I want to play this Warframe and I don't have that much new stuff right now. I wonder what I can do to like catch up with the game. That's like the point of this video. I'm just trying to catch you up, get you in the door, hopefully, so you can manage a way to squeeze in and like understand your frame a little bit more. Like, so it's supposed to be like a template build. Look at it as guidance. Don't look at it as like, yes, this is the build for max level content. It is not. It is not meant for max level content. This is just bare minimum to get in the door. All right. Just want to make it clear, understandable. This is the bare minimum. I'm not going to include arcanes. I'm not going to include prime mods. I'm not going to include helmets. Those are the main 3. I'm also trying to like go away and not include companion builds or like some synergies. As simple as possible. This is what the frame can do. Base what's a little bit of stuff to get you into steel path to make it a little simpler. If there is some changes or alternations, I will make sure I mention it per frame. So for this video today, we're doing Ash. So Ash, we're going to go through the kit, go through each ability. Then we'll look at the build, see why we have everything in there, and then show you a quick test, and you could be on your way. All right. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe if you end up enjoying the video, and check me out on Twitch. All right, let's get into the build. All right. So right now we're looking at Ash. So let's look at his passive, his 1, his 2, his 3, and 4, and then we'll go to the build and explain everything. I want to give you guys a fully in-depth guide. So moving on to the passive, slash status effects inflicted on enemies do 25% increased damage and last 50% longer. What this means is you want to do a slash build on him, period. Like slash builds are already strong, but on him they're already better. So if you're struggling to don't know how to do a slash build, I'll explain it while we do this, but let's go to first ability. So first ability is Shuriken. You launch 2 shurikens that seek out enemies. I believe they go through walls sometimes. Yeah, well, they impale enemies 2 walls, but sometimes I guess they could go through some, they have some punch through. I could be wrong, ignore that. But you shoot 2 shurikens that seek out enemies. He has an augment for it that makes you armor strip with it. We'll talk about that later. That's probably the only few augments we're going to talk about, that's one of them. Okay, so moving on to the second ability, smoke screen. So smoke screen, you throw a smoke bomb, you go invis. If enemies are near you, they get confused. You could also invis your allies as well if they're close enough. I wouldn't worry about that right now. Also has an augment that gives you extra crit chance while you're invisible. Pretty basic, pretty good. All right, moving on. Teleport, you teleport to a target. That's it. There's some extra stuff you can do with it, but teleport to a target. If it has an HP bar, you can teleport to an ally, enemy, crate, all that stuff. If it has a health bar, you can teleport to it. Finally, we got Blade Storm. So Blade Storm is 2-part ability. When you first click it, you enable it and you start marking enemies. After you've marked enough enemies that you're satisfied with, you can re-press it to begin the Blade Storm, and essentially you'll summon clones that will start attacking those marked enemies, inflicting slash and doing some damage. This ability takes a lot to make work, so we're not going to talk about it today, but if you guys want an in-depth video, let me know in the comments. I'll do a full-on higher level tier build for Blade Storm. And one thing to keep in mind, teleport. If you teleport to an enemy that's marked while Blade Storm is active, you would start teleporting with your clones engaging in the Blade Storm TP. So yeah, let's talk about the build. Let's see what we're cooking up right now. Right, again, keep in mind there's no prime mods, there's no arcanes. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. There's some mods that might be a little bit difficult. I'll mention them. If you guys have alternate mods, make sure to use them. I'm not telling you don't use them. If you have some better stuff, use the better stuff. So let's go look at the build. Boom. That's it. Steel charge you should have by default, nothing crazy. If you have, again, anything else you want to use it here, but I think steel charge is probably the best on Ash. If you have anything else, use something else. So the hardest mod in this right here are Blind Rage and Narrow-Minded. Narrow-Minded might be super hard to get, so I'll take this off, but anything else, maybe a streamline, I would have it. Whatever else. Redirection, Vitality, some other mods you got along the way. So the reason why these are too difficult to get is they're corrupted mods. You get them from vaults. So if you go to Deimos in the Derelict, there will be some vaults you see while you're going through the mission. If you have a clan, you can get some keys, build the keys, take them to the mission. They give you a debuff. They allow you to open these doors, and you get one of these mods at random. There's a couple of them. They're all really good. Most of them are. I think like 2 or 3 that are really bad, but all of them are really good, worth getting. I recommend getting this early on, as early as possible. Either farm it yourself or try to trade for it. Again, if you don't have this, there's alternate mods you can get, but I wouldn't worry about this. You could probably remove this entirely. It's only here just for like in case you want to do Blade Storm, but if you remove it, you can see your intensify. Sorry, we'll put intensify in here. If you put this on, your armor strip would be at 91%. You can throw on corrosive projection, if I can find it right here. If you have Again, if you form this out, you can put Gremrper section, or just double cast your shuriken to get full strip with the shurikens. Again, you don't really need the armor strip, it just helps a lot. You also get armor intensify, you could use this also instead. This will give you enough, or you can use Archon shards to counteract it. Again, it's up to you. You can mix and match it to fit what you have, which is the point. I want this to be as simple as possible. And we have these 3 mods right here: continuity, narrow-minded, and constitution. So constitution and continuity are super easy to get. This is from Nightmare missions, I believe. I could be completely wrong, they might have changed it since I've gotten it. And continuity, you can get it while just playing the game. Narrow-minded is just like blind rage. It is a derelict mod, vault mod. Again, if you don't have it, you can substitute anything else that you have to fit the build. Again, the reason this is in here, you want to have as max duration as possible for your invis. See, with these 3 duration mods, we're at 257%, making our invis a 20-second invis. That is not long at all. Like Loki with these same mods can get 30 seconds, 40 seconds. It's not bad, but we want as much invis as possible. Again, you can substitute it out for whatever redirection, vitality, whatever you have going on. Stretch, okay, not stretch, but you get the drift. Nearest hatred, if you have it, there's options. So I wouldn't like focus heavy on this mod. Oh, I don't have it, what can I do? The main ones is constitution, continuity. Throw this on if you have it. So what's the main thing about this build, right? Is the 2 augment mods. We have Seeking Shuriken, which will make your shuriken's armor strip, and we have Smokescreen. Smokescreen will give you a crit buff when you go invis. So when you go invis, enemies will stop shooting you, making you essentially survive better in high level still, in like those like steel path difficulty. And that crit buff would help you a lot if you're using a crit weapon. If you're using a crit weapon, you feel that crit buff a lot. It's not an amazing crit buff by no means. There's tons of Warframes that do this way better, but for Ash, it's super simple. Just throw this on and boom, you're doing more damage. So to get these 2 mods, they're from syndicates. Check what syndicate you're in. I believe it's Red Veil and Arbiters. I could be wrong. If you don't have them, you could sell your own syndicate mods for platinum and then use that plat, or trade people in the other syndicates with your syndicate. You can work it out. It's not super difficult because at this time you should at least be max level with 1 syndicate. And yeah, streamline and flow are just to maintain energy. Flow is because we're spamming our shurikens a lot. Streamline for we're spamming shurikens a lot, so we need that efficiency. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Super simple. Let's look at their weapon. So we're using a Telos Boltor. This isn't anything too difficult to get. It's an MR 12 or 14 weapon from syndicates. The stats are super simple. You can use any weapon you have, by the way. Don't be like, oh, I need this weapon. I'll show you I'll mention other options, but let's show with this one first. So I'm not using galvanized mods because I'm assuming you just probably haven't done them or are in the process of getting them. So I'm using Serration. Again, no arcanes because you haven't done Steel Path yet. I'm assuming you haven't done it. You don't have no arcanes, right? So we're using Serration. 100 munitions is an event mod. If you don't have it, they're pretty cheap, but if not, it's rough. I'll show you a workaround to this. So basically when you do a crit, you'll do a slash proc. So you want to do a crit weapon. So crit delay is one of those corrupted mods I mentioned. If you don't have crit delay, you could use point strike. It gives you a little bit less crit chance, which is why crit delay is better. Legend Fever is your fire rate. Do whatever fire rate mod you have. If it's shred, if it's speed trigger, up to you. Vital Sense you would have. It gives you crit chance, crit damage. Malignant Force you get from killing Vor in the Void. Split Chamber you should have also. Rhyme rounds you might not have. So instead of putting rhyme rounds here, you could switch the build around and throw on cryo rounds. So cryo rounds like this will give you viral. So why do we want viral? So what viral does is whenever you proc viral, whenever you shoot a weapon, you have a status chance. You'll proc statuses based on the damage of the weapon. I have a video explaining how to mod weapons. Check it out if I do confuse you right now. So what viral does is at 10 sacks, you would do a bonus 325 damage to their health. And because you're armor stripping with your 1, viral is giving you more damage. If that makes sense. It's just super simple. Also with the slash procs, slash is true damage. It ignores armor and it goes directly to the health. So what the viral, it makes the slash procs do more. And if you remember Ash's passive, those slash procs last longer and they do more damage. All right, nothing too complicated. Let's go into level 100 Steel Path corrupted enemies. All right, so Steel Path, level 100. We're gonna pause the AI just for convenience. All right, so we can kill these guys, no problem, no invis, all that good stuff. Now we see these guys are struggling a bit, but the slash procs got them, right? Heavy gunners, it's taking a bit, but those slash procs and viral procs are getting the job done. All right, so now let's go invis. You should notice a slight damage increase we see in a red crit. That is really good. If you see red, red is good. Now it's a little bit faster, not by much, but you should notice a bigger difference. There we go. Now, if we armor strip them with the shurikens, the viral now each shot does more damage and we are wiping it. Now you see our energy is running out because we don't have the full strips, or we're spamming our 1 a little bit more. There we go. Again, this is as basic as possible I could have made it. If you guys find this like it's not working, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in Twitch chat, checking out live. I will be glad to help you figure this out. Other options are any weapon pretty much that has good crit chance. The Dread should be an easy weapon you get. As you see, it has 50% crit chance by default. So if I go in it real fast, and if I go to something like this, yeah, something like this should be easy, right? We have Serration, not even Serrations, these mods, right? Crit Delay, Shred, Serration, and Slash mod. Which, do I have a max not to? I do. So we'll throw this on. So let me take off 100 munitions just so I don't have it. Okay. So essentially, if you don't have 100 munitions, if you have a weapon that does slash, it would proc the statuses. So let's go spawn those enemies again, and let's see how well we are able to kill them. So it takes 2 headshots to kill. These guys are going to be super tanky. Yep. But those slash procs, because it has a lot of damage per shot, those slash procs are going to do a lot of damage, right? So we're able to kill. But let's go invis, right? Get that crit buff. Notice how that enemy that took like 5 shots died in, I believe, 1. Red crit. When you get that red crit, it is big. Oh, there's no slash proc there. Guy behind him died. Hit this guy. Please proc slash. Didn't know slash procs. By the way, I have no status chance, so there we go. So you see the slash proc just taking heavy. And this is without viral, without status chance. The Dread is really good. Just look at whatever weapon has decent crit chance. Let's look at other options. Rubico has decent slash, high crit chance. Ignis, not so well in crits. Nadaruk, everyone should have Nadaruk. Nadaruk would also go amazing with this build. Build the same, damage, multi-shot, crit chance, crit damage, viral, and yeah, and 100 munitions, and you should be fine. If you don't have 100 munitions, don't worry. You just gotta rely more on the direct damage instead of the DOT. You go gas, toxin, electric. There's tons of ways to get the DOT going. Don't worry. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say to you guys. Let me know what you think. If you think it's too not working or struggling still, let me know how we can fix it. If you have any stuff that can like increase the build in any way, feel free to add it in. I'm not trying to limit you. This is supposed to be as basic as possible. Again, some mods are difficult, but I'm just letting you know ahead of time. You could change them out with anything else. There's also alternatives. Thank you. Let me know if there's anything missing, and yeah, enjoy.